What's happening, everybody? JayShockblast here, and we are back with another video talking about LEGO DC Supervillains. Gamescom is next week. There is a possibility we might see some new details emerge out of Germany, so let's keep our eyes peeled for that. But for now, I want to talk about heroes. Alright, we know this is the villains game, but there will be heroes in LEGO DC Supervillains. Last week, I talked about the top 10 villains I want to see in the game that have never been in a DC video game before. DC LEGO game, I should say. This week, we're going to talk about heroes, and my top 10 heroes that I'd like to see make a first appearance in LEGO DC Supervillains. So I tried really hard to stay away with characters that are part of the Arrowverse, because I feel like we're going to see a lot of those characters already, and that is fine. I did obviously dip a little bit into it, just unrelated basically, but we'll get into that in a second here. So essentially, I've got a pretty solid list, I think. I have not done a good job since I've been back from vacation, keeping up with anything that might have been announced at San Diego Comic-Con. I requested screenshots and never got them, so I don't know what happened, what they announced there. I feel like I heard something about one of the characters, but I don't know. I know I think I saw a screenshot of Superboy floating around, which obviously makes sense. He wasn't going to make my list anyway, but I digress. If any of these characters have been officially announced, I don't know about it as of recording this video. So let's go ahead and get right into it. I had a lot of characters that kind of missed the cut. I would say Midnighter was one I was really considering. Hourman, Valzad, Commander Steel, Animal Man, Jonah Hex. None of them made the list. Dr. Midnight. Those are kind of like my chopping room floor characters. We're going to start off at number 10, and it is actually two characters, but I feel like you can't have one without the other, and I feel like one of them is absolutely a stone cold guarantee. The Green Lanterns, Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. So obviously we saw Jessica Cruz in the Aquaman Rage of Atlantis movie, if you will. So I'm pretty confident with her having a LEGO minifig that came with it. She's going to be in the game. If you think about it, Trickster is a character that came with one of those LEGO movies, as was, I think, Bat Zorro. And both of those characters ended up in LEGO Batman 3. So I think it's safe to say Jessica Cruz is going to make it in here, and you can't have Jessica Cruz without Simon Baz. Both very, unique additions to the Green Lantern Corps. I don't know how Earth keeps getting Green Lanterns, but they do. And Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz would certainly be great to go along with the others that have been in there. Obviously we already know Hal Lantern and Power Ring are in the game. I wouldn't be shocked if John Stewart comes back. Kyle Rayner and Guy Gardner. So who knows? We've had Kilowog. Had a lot of Green Lanterns. Here's two more. So at number 10, Jessica Cruz and Simon Baz. At number 9, we have a very classic character for the DC Universe, the Spectre. And the Spectre has been 3 different people, and basically its own entity as well. Most predominantly was Jim Corrigan. It was also Hal Lantern at one point. So, I think it's back to being Corrigan. But Spectre is just it's basically DC's Ghost Rider, the spirit of vengeance. And I guess you could say it's an anti-hero. You could even possibly make a case that he's a villain. But I can tell you, I don't believe he's been in any of the LEGO games. And he's a character that I've mentioned in, I think, who I wanted LEGO Batman 3. So I think that he'd be a really cool choice as a character that can do like a mind control kind of thing. A lot of the characters that I'm kind of rolling with here are interesting like that. Well, actually, maybe not a lot of them, but definitely 1 or 2 more I feel like could be the more magical characters. But Spectre, I think Spectre is awesome and would be a great choice. So that was my number 9. Number 8 is one that very well may have already been announced. I feel like I might have seen somebody take a picture of a screenshot that was shown. Adam Strange. Adam Strange, to me, is kind of like DC's Star-Lord in a way. Not totally, but you know what I mean. He's a space character, very classic character. He's been around a very long time, and I would love to see him make that transition into the Lego game. I feel like I might have seen a screenshot again floating around Twitter, but I can't find anything else about it, and they don't seem to want to send me any screenshots, so it is what it is. I tried, and I think Adam Strange is really cool, so I think he would be a great choice. That is my number 8. At number 7 is I kind of went back and forth whether or not I wanted to include him on my list. Number 7, we have Wally West, and I understand that there's so many different Flash characters, but I feel like speedsters are a very integral part of these games, especially with Lego Batman 3, having the Flash, having Reverse Flash. I feel like Wally West needs to get his due. I'm a Barry Allen guy, but I know Wally West has had a lot of really interesting stuff pop up for him recently. I know we've had the Flash Wars. I would love to see all the Flashes, like all the Flash characters, get Wally in there with, Barry, get Bart, get, I think, Wallace West, Johnny, we got Johnny Quick already. Have as many of those type of characters. I kind of feel bad about leaving Godspeed out last time. I really feel like Wally West in his classic Flash, or his new Flash costume, would be fantastic. I'd really love to see that. I think a lot of you guys are going to agree. So at number 7, Wally West. At number 6, I thought about leaving this character out, and honestly, 5 and 6 are not necessarily interchangeable, but they are going to be very similar characters that have worked together. Black Lightning, he's got his own TV series. It is not part of the Arrowverse, which I think is a mistake. He doesn't have to be like weaved in and out of all their stories, but I would like to think we're in a world where they exist together. Maybe just a one-off here or there, but like I would wish they'd kind of tied them in and said, yeah, they're in the same universe, they're just doing their own thing. They're not going to be working together. Black Lightning is a great character. We've already seen a Lego minifig from San Diego Comic-Con. It's pretty obvious that he needs to finally get into the game. I hope it's not part of the DC TV DLC, but if it is, it's fine. And then, of course, at number 5, like I said, character that we've seen work together, very similar, Static. I've seen him called just Static, Static Shock, whatever it is. To me, he's always Static Shock, and I've mentioned him before in my last video, the last time I did, characters I want in Lego Batman 3. Static is just such a great one. I think of him kind of like Electro from the very first Lego Marvel Superheroes game. Electro had that little kind of glider thing that he rides. I can see him kind of operating the same way with his, kind of electric abilities, and Static would just be great. I think it's just a great character visually, and that's partially one of the reasons I also want him. And I love lightning-based characters or electricity-based characters, so number 5 is Static. At number 4, we have Grifter, who's part of the Wildcats. Originally, I think he was with Image Comics. I don't know why I kind of started following Grifter. I started following Grifter after New 52. I don't want to sit here and pretend that I'm like some old school fan. I think it's partially because he looks a lot like Red Hood. But I did, when they relaunched him in New 52, I did read pretty much like the first 6 books. I think I have the first graphic novel that got released. And I don't know, he's just he's a gun character, so maybe he's not that interesting, but I'd love to see him in here, and I'm surprised they haven't been able to do more with him. I feel like he's got the look, and I think that's half the battle. And he's, Grifter's kind of a cool name too, so I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more from him, but he is my number 4. At number 3, we have Azrael. This is, I was so excited to see him in Batman Arkham Knight. I think he is just an awesome Batverse character, and I think he just looks awesome too. I know we had like the Azrael Batman but that was Batman in the last game. It was more of a Batman. I want the actual traditional Azrael in this game, and I think he'd be just phenomenal. I think a lot of people would be pretty excited about it, and yeah, let's make it happen. At number 2, this is one of my favorite characters that I really started to like a lot during Blackest Night. We have Deadman, Boston Brand. He has such a great story, and kind of like Spectre, kind of who I alluded to earlier. He just has that like magical ability to possess characters, and that really works perfectly with the Lego gameplay style. There are always characters that have that mind control power, and while I don't know that he's necessarily going to go outer body and like literally, take over people, that would be a pretty cool mechanic. I really think so. So at number 2, we have Deadman, and man, there's some really great stories involving him, like when he tried to make Batman the White Lantern. So yeah, Boston Brand. His name is Boston too. So at number 1, I mean, this is just so obvious. John Constantine. You gotta get Constantine in one of these games. I hope it's not that TV pack. Justice League Dark is one of my favorite storylines. They did the animated show about it, which had Batman involved. Justice League Dark is being run by Wonder Woman now, I believe. We need to get John Constantine in here. Just honestly, whether it's Matt Ryan or Keanu Reeves, Constantine has had lots of opportunities on both the big screen and on TV. He didn't get a fair shake on TV, but I love seeing the possibility of him running around with DC Legends of Tomorrow. And honestly, I never watched Constantine Keanu Reeves movie until a couple days ago. Had no idea Shia LaBeouf was in it. That's enough reason right there to get John Constantine in the game. Anyway, who do you guys want to see in LEGO DC Supervillains for Heroes? It does not have to follow my criteria of never being in the game. You can just pick characters that you just want to see. I don't care. Whatever your criteria is fine. I always like to focus on characters that have not had an opportunity. I probably missed some characters. I try to research these things pretty thoroughly. I try to look at like top 100 lists, and I'll go through the characters and all that good stuff. So yeah. Anyway, we'll see ya.